This sweet, sweet, glorious little video is protected by fair use. It is not for profit, it is for free, and it is for the purposes of criticism and commentary. This is fair use. Thanks for watching. Please show your support for my channel by liking this video. It takes half a second or less to click the like button. Subscribe to all of my channels, the Sanity Machine, El Diablo channel, Crimes of Beauty, Crimes of Imagination. Join the empire, okay? Join the empire. Make sure that you hit the bell button, select all notifications. This video should be fun. It's for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spreading the word about the Sanity Machine. The cream of the crop, as Macho Man says. The cream of the crop. We bring the madness. Hey, everyone. I'm going to cover a mixture of things. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but have you heard of this before? Neon blue, lava, or is it a Mandela effect change for you, as it is for me? Such a phenomenon never used to exist, okay? In my reality, or my old reality, we'll say. This is a big change, but so is Australia shifting, South America. There's lots of big changes. If you've been keeping up with Mandela effect changes for the last, I'm going to say the last while, but we're working on 8, 9+ years, people really digging into this. So look at this. Look at how this looks. Okay? Does that look strange? Does look strange, doesn't it? Is this for real? Do I live there? Can I confirm it? Can I say I saw it with my own eyes? No, I can't confirm it that way. Okay? But, does look otherworldly, but so do the Rainbow Mountains in China and certain other things. And Rainbow Mountains, I believe, in South America. I'm not sure if it's in Brazil or where they are, but there are Peru, maybe. There are Rainbow Mountains in South America and in China. There's lots of weird things that, you grew up and you're like, did you ever hear of river dolphins? Okay, and river sharks, but river dolphins. I mean, dolphins that live in rivers, swim in rivers, and all this weird stuff. Pink dolphins. There's pink animals. Like, there's all sorts of things that we've discovered that just, it all feels odd. It seems odd, and it's just song lyrics change. It's more than song lyrics changing and movie titles and the spellings of things, and it's more than that. Okay, it's certain reality changes that really make you think and say, how fluid is this reality that we're in? And is it multiple reality timelines merging into one? Because this is so fucking bizarre. Okay? It is. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, as I said, but I wanted to begin the video this way with some weirdness that a lot of other, quote, truth channels just won't go near, because they're afraid, for one thing. They're afraid that people will say, well, that's weird, or that's normal, or, you're weird for covering that, or they're afraid of their reputation, and they're afraid of what people will think of them, and, everything else. They're just cowards, basically. That's what it is. A lot of them are just cowards. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, there is such a thing as blue lava. Blue lava, also known as op-ium-onion, and simply referred to as blue fire or sulfur fire, is a phenomenon that occurs when sulfur burns. It is an electric blue flame that has the illusory appearance of lava. Okay? So they're saying that's a flame, that it's, Did you ever see that before? with eruptions, volcanic eruptions. Did you ever in your whole life hear about blue lava before now? I'm sure some would, because maybe this is your reality. Maybe nothing has changed, but for a lot of us, we're like, what the fuck? Never seen that, ever. Never heard of it. Never saw images of it. Okay, so here we are on the Google Images. The Google Images, I'm going to call it. John Levi style. You can see it's shown in Wikipedia, New Scientist, National Geographic. Okay. So this is covered in the mainstream. It's not just something that's some hoax or, oh, Stephen, you're just, you're misled or you fell for something fake on the internet. Am I saying these are great sources? No, but the mainstream seem to accept them. So Smithsonian Magazine. According to all this, it's mainstream. It's accepted in the mainstream that this occurs, this is real in this realm. Does this not look strange to you? I mean, it sure does to me. Okay, it sure does to me. Never heard of this in my life, just like certain weather events that we seem to have all the time in Canada, and you can be 70, 60, 50, 40, 35 years old and never have heard of this shit before. They're pretty new within the last 8, 10 years. And it's like, where did all this stuff come from? Different clouds and polar vortex and all these different things. And it's like, what the hell? What's going on here? Just keeps adding more and more and more. Did they always exist? New? What the fuck is going on here? It's my question. I ask the questions that these other so-called, quote, truth channels don't ever fucking go near. And I think that's why some of you are here on my channel. Because you want some real truth for once. You don't want the surface shit. They all seem to talk about the same things. Oh, I looked into this a little while ago. I probably had this bookmarked to cover this for a few months now. All right? This blue lava. And it is strange. It is fucking strange. That's what it looks like. It looks like blue lava rolling down the side of a volcano, which is basically a mountain with the top blown through. Like when Mount St. Helens blew the top right off of it, it was a mountain that just blew up. Basically, but I don't think anybody really understands what a volcano is and how they were formed in this realm. It's very strange, but of course you can't blame God for God's creation, right? I mean, did God create this or not? Did God create the whole realm or not? Christians want to dodge that, but geology. Spectacular neon blue lava pours from Indonesia. There you go. They're calling it blue lava. Neon blue. Glowing in the dark. Now, isn't this fucking wild? Come on. If you're honest, you'll say, wow. Did you know this existed? If you're from the same reality I'm from, you'll be like, no, I'd never heard of that before. And never knew that was anywhere on Earth at all. You're like me, you watch videos on YouTube for years and TV shows about weird things and things that are different in this realm and just unique places. And I've never seen this before, so I don't know where the fuck this came from. But I'm going to cover something else just briefly. Okay. Again, I didn't make these up. This is from CNBC. These are Rainbow Mountains in Peru. So, not Brazil, but Peru. I don't know why I came up with Brazil. I did say Peru then and said South America. Thought it was Peru. Was my second guess of trying to remember. But look at this. I only found out about these, I would say, in 2015 or 2016, I would estimate. Around that time. Before that, never heard of them in my whole life. They're not the only ones. I mean, these don't look real. But they are, apparently. So there's people there. It's just incredible when you see these. Okay? Look at that. Look at that. Does that look like something out of a movie, like some kind of fantasy movie? Or, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't even seem Earth. It doesn't seem like Earth. It doesn't seem like it's from Earth. Why you should add hiking Rainbow Mountains. Why isn't this a huge attraction? Why haven't people been talking about this my whole life? Saying, wow, it's a magical place, the Rainbow Mountains. It looks like another world. Look at this. Okay? This is one of the things that still does blow my mind, that these exist. All right? Okay? These are the ones from Peru. Hold on a second. Okay, so here we are over in China now. You're like, damn, the Sanity Machine really brings it, doesn't he? He brings it when he wants to show something wild, something. This is a Mandela effect for many of us. We would have known that, hey, there are rainbow mountains in this world. People that love mountains, love looking at scenery, geography. Look at that. Okay, look at this. Did you know about these? Is this hidden from you your entire life? If you're, as I always say, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. Have you known about these your whole fucking life? Did they teach you about these? Did you see these on TV, on TV programs? If you're in the UK, Canada, United States, shows that show geography and world travel and this and that, unique places of the world, YouTube videos. Have you ever heard of these? Trying to break through to people. Trying to really break through to you. So that you learn there's a lot about this realm that's supernatural that you don't have figured out. And that the people that have it the least figured out are religious people, Christians and Muslims and Buddhists and people that just follow this religion. They can't imagine things like this changing or never existing, and then all of a sudden they're here. Okay? Natural wonders. What if this was suddenly in your backyard? Would that wake you up? If suddenly this was your backyard and you were like, fuck, I don't remember those huge rainbow-colored mountains in my backyard. Now all of a sudden, there they are. So, this is a wake-up call. One of many that I've given people on my channel. If you look through my videos, you actually watch my videos, which my quote skeptics never do. They just attack. They don't watch. They don't study. They don't say to themselves that they don't have reality all figured out. Okay? They dismiss a lot of things happening in this realm without ever looking or investigating, which is the height of ignorance, willful ignorance and laziness. And that's what my quote skeptics are on these other channels, the shady bunch shill channels, okay? That's what they are. You understand? You understand? I'll get through to you eventually. If you're not there yet, stick around. So, Stephen, you mentioned pink river dolphin, some of you was saying. Did you make that up? Or, oh, wait a second. Oh, damn. He was telling the truth. Oh, damn. There are pink dolphins in this realm. What the hell? Pink dolphins that can live in the Amazon River. So some of you right now are going, what the hell? I thought dolphins were only in the ocean. They were only saltwater. But apparently they can live in Amazon rivers, which are, it's different than, a river is different than the ocean. Saltwater oceans. So isn't that interesting? Hong Kong's pink dolphins. Look at this. Look at this. Are you looking at this? Pink LA dolphin could be pregnant. Did you ever hear these before? Of course, they have a name. I mean, they've been named, they've been discovered. It's not a myth. It's not fake. Pink dolphins. Okay? You understand? You understand what I'm getting at here? About reality? I hope so. For your sake. For your sake. Don't understand and that you don't quite grasp it and you don't see change. It doesn't hurt me. That's what I really want you to get. Because there are some that come to my channel that think they're hurting me. Or they think they're hurting me if they say, well, you just lost a subscriber. Oh gosh, I'm so hurt. Goodbye. Bye-bye. I've banned hundreds from my channel. You're not hurting me. So for the people that have this stupid, stupid attitude that ignorance hurts me, you're not hurting me. You're just fucking helping condemn yourself to this fucking hell realm. It's stupid. Okay? You might as well take a hammer and smash your own big toe or your thumb or something. Hurt yourself and say, I'm hurting you. You're not hurting me at all. Not at all. Pink dolphins. Pink dolphins. You can mock, you can do whatever you want. That's what stupid people do. Stupid people mock things instead of having a moment where they're like, you know what? Reality really can change here. Things can really fucking change here. That never existed before. But they do here. Maybe you're in a tricky reality. You're in a tricky place. It's not so simple. Australia. I know Americans are really not good with geography for the most part. I understand that. I understand. I've spoken to Americans that don't know where anything is, but look at how close Australia is to these islands. It's within a stone's throw away. It used to be thousands of nautical miles of water around Australia, and nothing was close to it except New Zealand, and that was it. And it wasn't even that close, but I mean, here's New Zealand. But all these islands, I mean, you could swim here. You'd swim over to Papua New Guinea, basically, or take a little life raft. And there's even been dogs from Australia found over there that have swam that distance. Dogs! Okay? It's that close to Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. Do you understand? It used to be so isolated. It was a prison colony. This wasn't close by. Australia has shifted to the north, to these islands, to so close it's almost touching. Okay? And I remember looking at globes. I know the globe is a fake model, but growing up in school and looking at world maps in school and seeing it also on television, Australia was just isolated. It was apart from everything. It was just, it's the way it was. And there are Australians that say, yes, I remember the way it looked on maps. I'm an Aussie, and I remember how it looked, and it's changed. It's so close now. Okay? So, the change, look at this. It looks cluttered, the amount of stuff that's near Australia. It's just unbelievable, the difference. Okay? So, the North Pole used to be more than just ice. There used to be land. And that's where Santa Claus was, and that's why the myth kind of worked. Because it wasn't just an iceberg that he was on land. And now it's just open water, the North Pole. Okay? So, there's a lot of changes. And Australia doesn't move like Pee-Pee or some other YouTuber would say, well, it's global warming, it's shifting Australia. I mean, you don't shift a huge continent that way when it was surrounded by open water. Okay? What's at the North Pole? Showing open water. Okay? Wikipedia. Nothing. Just nothing. No land right there. Arctic Circle. Just open. Nothing. They have a geographic North Pole and a magnetic on a globe, right? And then a North geomagnetic pole. It's hilarious. It's all over the place. You know? So where's Santa? Is he floating on the water? When the water's not frozen? Anyway, I'm going to carry on here. I wanted to show this. So when there's no ice, that's a spot, no land, okay? And when it's frozen, it's ice, but isn't that interesting? What are they actually hiding, though? What's really the North? Out on a fucking wobbling, spinning, flying globe with upside-down people and upside-down cars and upside-down ships and upside-down kangaroos. Okay? And planes flying upside down either. Passenger planes with people not even seatbelted in. I mean, just none of it makes sense. Hope people break through that, because one thing it does help you is get your senses back and realize, hey, they lied to us about where we are. They lied to us. And they always lie to you. That basically should be a given at this point. You shouldn't be shocked. You should be like, yeah, well, they always lie to us. They just always lie to us. They do. They always lie to you. Always. Always. Now we're going to go to something completely different called The News Benders from 1968. This contains a lot of truth drops about how the news actually works, how fake the media is, how things work in this realm, how they control people, how they get people to work for them and keep them under control, and a lot of predictive programming and all kinds of stuff is in this. It's revealed in this. So that's what we're going to jump into. Enjoy. Enjoy.
Over here at 3. It's after 10 past. He is in, isn't he? One of the big boys wants to see. He always pulls the same trick. Sends for you at 3 and sees you at 3:15.
Mr. Larkin to see you, J.G.
Sorry for the captain. Sit down, Mr. Larkin.
Thank you.
Do you smoke these things?
King of Kings, sirs.
Yes. Very surprised we got you to come here, Mr. Larkin.
Well, I couldn't see what the CWNS would want with me. Still can't.
Do you know anything about us?
Oh, I heard one or two things when I was working with the BBC.
What'd you hear?
CWNS set up midway between the government and the TV companies. Anytime the newsreel boys put out stuff with security classification, wars, weapons, political leaks, they get their film through this office.
What do we know about you? Larkin. Robert Santor.
Yes, it's a family name.
Good family. Good education. But you turned your back on all that, didn't you? Tried a little bit of everything. 1955, you wrote some plays for the BBC, then worked for them as a story editor. 1961, you got a 3-year contract as a director, which you didn't renew.
Oh, the BBC weren't paying money.
Well, you're in the money now, aren't you? In 1968. There's your Flat in Holland Park, a cottage in Hampshire, 2 children.
And a dog and a cat who commute with us to the country at weekends. Well, maybe you knew that already.
6 years ago, there were those shows you did on alcoholism, blood sports, slum clearance. People called you bright, very bright. There were other words they used.
Hard-hitting, vital.
Now you do only 4 shows a year. The critics call them brilliant. They're high in the ratings, and they're, well, they're souffles. Little soft in the center. Don't think I'm complaining.
Oh, you can complain if you want to.
Just call it a friendly professional interest. I'd like to know what happened to alcoholism and blood sports.
Call it reaching the age of 35. Call it school fees, 2 fixed addresses. Call it joining the establishment. Call it being a socialist for 15 years in a country that'll never be socialist.
Good. There's your wife, Rachel. You married the girl next door. Your 2 children, Rebecca and Daniel, nice little family. 3 years ago, you got yourself a girlfriend. It was serious.
Where the hell did you get that from? Just tell me where it stops.
Lasted for 18 months. Your wife never knew about it, even when you nearly decided to leave her.
Who are you? It's the initials JG, that's all I know. Never met you before in all my life.
July
He's
the
having a
25th.
reaction here because this guy knows things about him. Meanwhile, he was called there for a job if you wanted a job. They know you before you get there. They look into you. Okay? Doesn't like that. He's shocked and he's angry. And you know what? It's perfect. Because that's what people do. That's how people actually react in real life to truth or somebody knowing the truth about them. They get angry and they try to project their rage onto the messenger in this case. He doesn't like that.
In 1966, you finally decided to break it off with this woman. You said you loved her. You said you loved your children. It was 2 against 1. You had to add it up like that. Sorry, your cigar is burning my desk.
Sheila told you all this.
We have ways of finding things out.
But why? If it's blackmail, the thing won't hold water. It's all in the past. Well, there'd be pain, of course, for Rachel and the children. But you wouldn't get anything else out of it.
No, it isn't blackmail. We've just been interested in you for a long time.
Interested?
You went back to your wife because you said it was 2 against 1. I call that very responsible. We're interested in very responsible people. In fact, we have a little index for them. We call it their power quotient. A ratio of responsibility as against aggression. Yours is very low. 0.2. That's very low. Just what we need. Sit down. Please. I'm sorry, the language must seem rather strange at first, but we take it very seriously. Just to show you how seriously, I'm going to tell you how we checked up on you. We call these things surgical transmitters. One was fitted inside you when you went into the Charing Cross Hospital 3 years ago. Appendix, wasn't it?
Transmitter? Are you trying to tell me that you listen to every word I say?
A machine does. Untouched by human hand. There's a little gadget in these things that ties up with the pulse rate. Puts a bleep onto anything that you're excited about saying. British.
Power quotient, surgical transmitters, high-speed tape. It's Doctor Who. I'm for the real world, Jack. Good afternoon.
He doesn't buy it. Perfect again, writing. Perfect writing and acting, right? He doesn't believe it because it's true. If it was a lie, he probably would believe it. People's instincts are fucked up. Not just in this show, but in this realm. It's the way it works. Seems far-fetched. Science fiction. He said Doctor Who. He's from reality, Jack. That's just Doctor Who stuff. And that's what normies do when they're told things that are going on in this realm. They don't believe it for a second. They're slaves. They don't want to see what they are.
It's Doctor Who. I'm for the real world, Jack. Good afternoon.
I shall just have to give you an example. On July the 26th, 1966...
Who? I'm for the real world, Jack. Good afternoon.
I shall just have to give you an example. On July the 26th, 1966, you were talking to this girl, Sheila, about love. You said to her, I quote, "The kind of love I have for you, Sheila, well, it's bed love and it's more. It's staying in bed till 6 p.m. and saying I can't go to the office today. It's eating breakfast at twilight, laughing at leaves on the pavement."
I don't believe there's any such thing as these surgical transmitters. You got Sheila to tell you all this, then you wrote it down the way I might have said it. You're a good guesser.
Can you hear your heart beating?
It's eating breakfast at twilight, laughing at leaves on the pavement, getting a cab to a silly movie to Paris. It's moving when you're tired of staying still. And I've done it all before when I could do it with no ties. Now to just be irresponsible. So there really is one of those things inside me. What do you want?
We want people with low power quotients. We want them to
jump in for a moment. Again, this was aired in 1968. So they had not only thought about this, but they were putting it on TV on BBC. So that's how long they've either had technology like this before 1968, or they were talking about it or working on developing this sort of stuff to control people. And then there are Christians and other religious people, you know, the long list of religions, okay, that say, oh, this world isn't evil. You know, this world's fine. It's just you. It's just your attitude. It's just your perspective. You got to change your perspective. You're negative. You don't know. They don't know what kind of hell they're in. They don't know where they are. They don't know what this realm is. I don't have to help anybody. 33 minutes, 33 seconds. I'm not obligated. Nobody's forcing me to. Nobody's paying me to. Nobody's giving me any incentive to help. I'm doing this of my own free will, trying to help others see what I can see. And I get tremendous abuse. I do get support. I get people that are grateful, but I also get tremendous abuse coming my way. And I'm not crying about that. They'll try to spin it and say, well, he's crying about it. Not at all. But I could have very easily kept a lot of this knowledge under my hat and just waited, or just, said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the grave with it. Fuck them. They never listened to me for years, my whole life. As a child, I would see things in this realm and question it and say, this doesn't make sense, or why is this evil, or, I would discover little things here and there. Little things and sometimes bigger things. Always mocked, laughed at, disbelieved when I was telling the truth. I told a lot of truth to a lot of adults in my life. Rarely was I believed. And the reality is, rarely am I might have a lot of subscribers now at this point on my channel, but I've been working for decades to try to get people to open their ears to some of this stuff, to listen, to think about it, to ponder it, to not only say, oh, they do evil things, they put these transmitters in people. They could be doing this to every baby today, for all you know. Every baby, every newborn in a hospital could have something like that. put into them. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know at all. They have access to babies alone. These nurses and doctors. Look what they did. Like, who do you think you can trust to not follow orders and follow along with evil? Like, when you really think about it. But anyways, it's bigger than these devices. I'm trying to show you what this realm is. The realm overall as a whole. It's not just a few evil people at the top. And that's what so many quote truthers. If we could just get rid of the Rothschilds and the royal families and the bloodline families, the Illuminati bloodline, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you could get rid of all of them. You're still in an evil realm with evil people. Sometimes you have evil people right on your street. You wouldn't even fucking know. That's the reality. Most people don't pay attention. I mean, you're in an evil realm, period. And you're not going to fix that. If you don't let that go, you might as well chain an anchor around your ankle, heavy anchor, and say, I'm staying here. Because you're chained to lies. You're not going to fix this place. Neither am I. No one is. Because it can't be fixed. It's not broken. It's designed to be evil. And it's operating as designed. It's not out of order. It's not a Coke machine that's out of order with the out of order sign. It's working. It's doing the way that it's set up. We're in an evil place. As soon as you really acknowledge that, you'll be better off because you'll have a chance of getting out. If you don't acknowledge it, you're not getting out. It's that simple. You know what you're like? The ones that are in denial? You're like the prisoner that I can't convince you're in a prison. And everybody else can see it. At least on my channel. They all see the bars. They see the walls, the fences, the razor wire. They see the guards. We know where we are. And you're the one shaking your head back and forth saying, no, I'm not an inmate. This isn't a prison. You know what? When we escape, you're staying in there because you're going to say, I'm not a prisoner. I'm not in prison. So be it. You can stay there forever and never acknowledge that you're in prison. You'll get mind wiped and you'll be in prison again. And you'll have way less chance of getting out the next time. That's the reality. I'm not trying to fear monger or scare you. I'm just trying to give you the truth as it is. You've got a real chance this time to get out. If you want to. If you want to be a stubborn idiot in denial and pretend that you're not in a prison, so be it. It's up to you. It's your choice. I think you're stupid, though, and I think you're fearful. Because I'm leaving. And I'm here right now trying to help others realize where they are and that they can leave too. But if you can't even be honest, admit where you are, I don't think you're going anywhere then. You know? Because I think you're a mental slave at that point. You better drop that.
To work for us. Nothing more sinister than that.
All this just to offer me a job.
Special sort of job. The newspapers talk about the corridors of power, the power elite. Let's just say we'd like you to join the club.
Oh.
There's a vacancy in our newsreel department. We'd like you to help plan the news for 1973.
That's a big moment. He turns and looks back. Sorry, this is squeaky here. This is the boom mic stand. I've moved it so many times. Might be time for some good old WD-40 or something to be sprayed on it. But anyways, he looks back and he just can't look at the look on his face like he's astonished. Playing the news years ahead. Okay? Planning the news for 5 years ahead. Again, this is from 1968. There's people on your street that don't know that the news these days is planned in 2023. They're way behind. That's not just a mere insult. You got to get beyond that shit. You got to get used to hearing the truth and realizing, wait, truth isn't hate. Truth isn't insults. He's just speaking the goddamn truth here. Why should my feelings be hurt? Okay, I'll say it again. There's neighbors on your street that don't have a fucking clue that the news they're watching on TV is planned in 2023. And they're showing you in 1968 that it was being done. They've had a lot of decades to learn a thing or two, and they don't want to learn jack shit. And when they encounter someone like me in life, in their family, let's say, or a friend or somebody on the internet they run into, on Facebook, there's all kinds of ways that they've encountered someone speaking some truth. They reject it immediately. It doesn't have to be me. They reject it immediately. And I know this. It doesn't just happen to me. It happens to lots of others too. The one person they encounter that speaks some real truth in their life, and they reject it and they attack them and mock them and laugh or just ignore them or shake their head and leave the room and pretend you're crazy, you're nuts. Go ahead. You're not hurting me or hurting ones like me. You're hurting yourself. And you're that stupid. Okay? That's another thing that's gone away in this society. Actual people that really are stupid never get called stupid. But they're allowed to call everyone else fucking stupid and, oh, you're a retard and all this stuff. That's this realm. It's ass backwards. The truly stupid people never get called stupid anymore at all that I see. Almost never. Okay? And that is a problem. They should be called that often. Often. Maybe to break through to them and so that they realize you're not as smart as you believe. You don't have a clue how this realm works and what's going on. Not a clue. For the ones that think, oh, that's evil, all this deception in the news. Well, it goes on beyond here. In the afterlife realms too. Why would you assume it ends here? For the people that think, well, I pass on, it's all done. No. The deceptions don't end there. Okay? Sorry to tell you that. So anyway, having knowledge in this realm, I don't even think it's that difficult, but getting other people to understand is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. It's basically mission impossible. It's a monumental task. Unless they really, really want the truth, then it's a lot easier. But those people are rare. Those rare ones are on channels like mine. The ones that aren't just mock and attack the truth all the time. All the time. That's all they do.
We'd like you to help plan the news for 1973.
Come again?
Plan the news for 1973. What are you doing?
I just want to make sure the sunlight's real.
I always tell people, news is the most highly developed form of fiction. The most difficult. Come on. I
don't think that was supposed to just be a button that he moved. I think it was also a fingerprint scanner right there. So they had that in 1968, where people in the last few years of having them on to unlock their cell phones thought that was new, and that's what they're really showing there. Okay? What you think is fairly new these days in the last 5-10 years, they had a long, long time ago. Because Jesus allows it, of course. Jesus is coming back soon to save you and fix all this stuff.
News is the most highly developed form of fiction. The most difficult. Come on. I just want to show you something. There's no obligation to buy. Really. News requires imagination. News requires responsibility. We think you're well qualified. Please.
Double A security, sprinkler systems and other services do not operate beyond this point.
1973. We've only roughed out the news for 1973. Nothing's been given the go-ahead yet, but this is the kind of thing we have in mind. Come.
This is for the Globers that believe that the moon landings are real and all this stuff. They're showing you even back then what a joke to just mock the masses. Show you that it's fake. They can rub your faces in it. And the majority of people on Earth will not understand. They will not understand even if it's shown to them and explained to them. And there's some of us that don't need others to show us and explain every little thing to us. Think for yourself. Question authority. If you're not there yet, start thinking.
Today, April 14th, 1973. First historic pictures by Radstar of the combined U.S.-Russian landing on the moon. Shown here are Majors Webb and Mikhailovich taking their first steps into the unknown, firing their retro rockets to land their spacecraft on the dust-covered surface. A comforting note for us stay-at-homes, both the Pentagon and the Kremlin have announced that the moon has no strategic value.
A comforting note for us stay-at-home. I can't show you any film on this next model. We haven't photographed it yet. But this is the way it will sound.
June the 22nd, 1973. The State Department releases film of the ultimate weapon, codenamed Icarus. This satellite is equipped with a solid reactor. In layman's terms, it can freeze air solid, stopping all missiles, killing all forms of life. Icarus orbits at the same speed as the Earth, can hang in position over every major city that threatens the peace-loving nations.
Rather proud of this one. Come on. Please, sit down, Mr. Larkin.
September the 5th, 1973. The new phase in global warfare. War by example. At 4:32 our time, China took out the remote Indian border village of Bangalore, unprotected by the Icarus network. After the first 2 5-megaton H-bombs have fallen, the 9-way hotline finally
Switch it off.
But
This is going to happen in 1973. You're going to make this happen?
No. We're going to make models much cheaper. Then we photograph the models.
Fake newsreels.
That's fake newsreels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake newsreels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept it for the truth. And you can do it.
Well, they can do it, and they do it. And people do accept it as real. Most people that watch TV news every night at 6 o'clock or whatever time, they believe it. They believe it. They believe what's on TV. And they don't listen to the crazies like me that say, hey, that's not real, or, you know, this doesn't add up, or why are they on TV right after, you know, a supposed bang bang, and they're not traumatized, and they're just, you know, speaking, like, none of it adds up. It doesn't have to, though. That's the thing. We could call it the dark magic or the dark sorcery of it. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to add up. So people can shake their heads and say, it's not logical. It It doesn't have to, though. It's about belief. It's not about logic and reason. It's about belief, emotion, belief, mind control, trust and authority, quote, authority figures. They view the news and TV and the TV anchors. You know, they're just pieces of shit actors. I don't respect them, but the mainstream masses sure do. They look up to them as idols, as authority figures. Once you do that, you're already gone. Just like they look up to politicians. Those are our, quote, leaders. They're not your leaders. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to represent you in government, which they don't do, of course, but most people look up to them in awe. They put them on a pedestal. They might as well be gods, the way they look at them. Okay? The people in the general masses feel tiny. They feel small. And they want to. They want to be led. Okay? They want to be led. They want to be deceived. They want others to think for them and to act for them. They'll do anything to avoid thinking for themselves. Anything. Anything. They'd rather be physical slaves than to think for themselves. It hurts their brains to think for themselves. And they feel under attack if you try to get them to think for themselves. They're that far gone. They think that's an attack. You know? They don't want to. And some of us are at the opposite end of the spectrum. We love to think. It doesn't hurt us. We enjoy it. Okay? We enjoy it. It's like exercise for the mind rather than the body. We enjoy it. Feels good to think, to analyze. Feels good to daydream. Feels good to imagine. Feels good to try to solve mysteries. Feels as good as having your favorite dessert sometimes. Feels really good. I don't think it feels good for them. For the ones that have said, I've heard zombies say this, including way back many years ago in school. It hurts my brain to think. And I was just appalled by that. Like it was just hearing something that was just hideous. Like the words felt like a hideous monster in front of me. Just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Hurts your brain, you know?
Stop 100 people in the street. How many of them have actually seen a missile or a satellite? They're just told they exist and they believe it.
They're just told they exist and they believe it. That is most people. They have to be told what to believe and they believe it. And you can feel sorry for them all you want. That's what a lot of, quote, truthers go through the stage of feeling sorry for the zombies or the normies or whatever you want to call them. But they'll fight you not to think. Believe me. You might have to fight them one day. So I'd suggest you stop feeling sorry for them.
In 1973, you're going to make this happen?
No. We're going to make models, much cheaper. Then we photograph the models.
Fake newsreels?
Yes, fake newsreels. For the past 10 years, people have been looking at our fake newsreels and listening to our fake commentaries.
And they accept it for the truth? And you can do it. Stop 100 people in the street. How many of them have actually seen a missile or a satellite? They're just told they exist and they believe it.
Yes, you're getting there. I knew you would.
Well, now the moon rocket and the satellite, that you can get away with. That's too remote for people to grasp. It's too far away. But this... I mean, you invented this village on the Indo-Chinese border.
Oh, yes.
Well, somebody could check up.
Very mountainous territory up there. There'll be no survivors in 1973. No rescue work. Radiation scare.
Yes. You can do it. This could be the news for 1973.
Not necessarily. exactly like this. We only plan in detail 1 year ahead.
Oh, you only plan 1 year ahead.
Tell me, what is the news item that's bothered you the most in the past year, 1967?
Oh, well, it has to be the new American intercontinental ballistic missile, the Boy Wonder, doesn't it?
Just the one I asked him to set up for you. The new ICBM, codename Boy Wonder, with a much talked about Mercury warhead. I haven't any special effects up here, but perhaps with the proper sound. Blast off. And Robert Larkin, television director, high IQ, 35 years old, is scared. Scared by nothing. It doesn't work. It's a scientific impossibility. The same goes for the much talked about Mercury warhead.
That's what I've thought for years and been saying. That's a scientific impossibility. So is the ICBM that travels into, quote, space, from one side of the world to the other side, whether you believe in the globe, which of course I think is laughable, or a flat earth. It can't travel that far. Rockets burn up very quickly, for one thing. The weight of that thing, there's no wings for lift to help it fly great distances. It just burns up very quickly like a big firework and doesn't travel that far. It might travel a few hundred miles, but not thousands of miles across an ocean. Impossible. I don't think there's one rocket that exists in this realm that can fly intercontinental from, let's say, United States to Russia, or across the ocean from here to Japan or whatever. I don't think so. I don't buy it at all. And I haven't since I was a kid. Just like the nukes, the fake footage. So they're showing you a lot within this, and most people just don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. You're free to buy the lies and believe the lies of evil. But if you buy them here, in this realm, good luck to you when you leave your body one day and you kick the bucket, because entities are going to lie their ass off to you with no conscience. None whatsoever. So you better get used to seeing through the lies here and realizing, wait a second, he's right. There's a lot of lying demons in this realm. And they've lied to us our whole life. And long before you were born, long before your parents were born, long before your grandparents and great-grandparents were born. Been lied to. I don't think there's a goddamn channel on YouTube that'll put it to you as bluntly as I do, saying it that way. You've been lied to. So what's the benefit of seeing that you've been lied to? One day having a real chance of getting out of here. But if you don't realize you've been lied to about all this shit, you just pray. Because if you can't see it here, what chance do you have of seeing it beyond here? That's why it matters. It should matter to you if you want to free yourself and choose freedom. So, for the ones that say there's all kinds of channels doing what he's doing, show me the channels. Show me the ones that are saying this stuff. Go ahead. Because again, I think you're defending liars on YouTube, and you just want channels to be entertained by. Go for it. Watch the shit channels if you want to. Gobble up all that shit. It all builds up in your head. Just like gobbling, like a diet that's just fast food. If you just ate McDonald's every day, every single day, you're not going to be healthy. So if you feast on that lie, shill shit, demonic shit on YouTube, you pour hours and hours of that into your mind, good luck to you. You're going to be confused when you're leaving here. There is a cost, in other words. And I'm one of the few that's trying to break through to people on that level and tell you, and why I advise you not to do that. I'm basically trying to convince you not to hurt yourself. But again, a lot of people don't see it that way. They just don't understand. So if you want to gobble up shit and defend demons, then I think it's going to harm you one day when you go to leave your body. Okay? You're not here forever.
Perspex.
Well, if this rocket doesn't work, then the others?
They have a fireworks party at Cape Kennedy almost every other day. Well, You didn't really believe there were all these things whizzing about up there, did you? Sputniks and rockets? Astronauts crossing their legs for 8 days.
How long has this been going on?
Since Hiroshima.
And the H-bomb, you mean... that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Very, very dirty.
What was your first reaction?
So Hiroshima and Nagasaki, huge psyops, and they just dropped a truth bomb right in this in 1968. They told you. In 2023, most people believe all of that's real. They think it happened just the way they were told. It's incredible. The lack of desire to know the truth that the masses have, the lack of curiosity, the lack of skepticism for authority. They just watch and believe and follow. That's what they do. Get upset. You can stomp your feet. You can fall down on the floor and throw a tantrum. You can get angry at me. You can run for a safe space room with Kool-Aid and cookies and a blankie. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But it doesn't change things. Truth hidden in plain sight. This isn't fiction. This is a truth drop. This show. It's loaded with truth drops. Loaded with truth drops. People don't want to see the truth. They prefer the lies. Most in this earth realm, this hell realm, are very attached to the lies. Their lies, the lies that they're fed about this realm, history, everything, technology, how things work, it's like a security blanket for them. It's like you can't take Hollywood away from them, and Hollywood fills their heads with lies, and they love Hollywood. They love it.
Action. Relief. Oh, yes.
H-bomb, you mean... that doesn't work either?
Right. Dirty.
Very, very dirty.
What was your first reaction? Relief. Oh, yes. Yes, it has to be relief. Only 12 people are allowed beyond this point. Most of them work in the photographic department, taking phony newsreel pictures of our models and processing film and so on. Sit down, please. Ah, pretty pictures from our stills department. The boy wonder.
Do you really think that missiles and satellites are mile out of country?
No, not at all. I've only shown you the hard news. There are other things, much softer things we thought might interest you.
Well?
1973, we thought it might be time for an anti-teenage movement. A long-awaited return to maturity. Sheriff. Perhaps even a religious revival.
Oh, I see. You want me to arrange the grand opening of Ruislip Cathedral. 1st of October, 1973. Mark the date down in my 10-year diary.
We are very serious about you. There are things about you we like very much. Qualities you have to offer. Qualities that we perhaps don't possess at the moment.
That's great.
Our file on you. I have to return to July the 25th, 1966, the day you broke it off with this girl, Sheila. You really did reveal rather a lot of yourself that day. But, of course, if you really mind...
Help yourself.
You said to her, it won't work, Sheila, and she said something, and then you said...
You remember I went away with Rachel and the kids to the seaside? It was midweek and this huge stretch of sand was empty. just a circle of footprints around 3 sandcastles and tracks out to sea. The whole damn day of my family marked out in front of me. The sun was going down. Rachel kept calling the kids to get dressed. She picked up buckets and spades, corny bloody things like that. I was up at the car. I looked at those footprints, and I knew those people were slipping away. There were things I could tell them.
We rather like that bit about footprints.
Look at the smile. It's a psychopathic realm. And you know what the funny thing is? This is kind of funny. Most people are so dishonest in this realm they can't even say what I just said. They can't admit that this is a psychopathic realm, which shows how dishonest they are, because it's right in your face. If you really, truly, honestly look at this realm, it's undeniable that it's psychopathic at best, if not worse. Like, there are no words for how sick this place can be. Sick, twisted, sadistic, control hungry. It's a hell realm. That's why I use that term. It has nothing to do with the Bible. Of course, the Bible fools will say, well, we're not burning in flames in a lake of fire. I mean, I was using it as a descriptive term to express how fucking bad it is here. Okay? How bad it is here. But no language really exists. Is it all bad? No. Because it wouldn't fool anyone if it was that way. There has to be some good, just enough beauty here and goodness and things to make you think, well, it's not completely hell, just enough to fool you. And that's what exists here. I've been saying that for years. There's just enough so it seems believable to the vast majority. And then there's some people hung up on this. Well, Stephen, it doesn't fool us. I don't think you understand what a small minority we are. There might only be a few thousand of us in this realm, this entire realm, that understand on this level that this is a hell realm, even that much. Okay? The vast majority in this realm don't know where they are. They don't know what this is. And they won't believe it if you tell them and show them. So yeah, it's not quite perfect, but it's very, 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 very close to perfect. Statistically, it's almost perfect. It's like it has 99.9999999999999. I'll say it almost in German. 9999% fooled. Okay, we're not in the 1%. We're in the 0.0000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 Okay? So is the Matrix completely perfect where it gets every single soul that comes down here and it gets them all completely mind-controlled and mentally enslaved? No. But does it get the vast fucking majority? Yeah, seems to. If you disagree with me, you take a good hard look at this realm and study it for the next 5 years solid, at least. And then come back to me and maybe you'll agree at that point, once you've really done the work. Do the work if you don't see it. Because I'm tired of lazy people that spend 5 seconds on something and they disagree. It's like your disagreement doesn't mean shit. You didn't put any work, any thought. You're just trying to insult me and be insulting to my intelligence at that point. Do the fucking work first. Okay? Don't tell me you can't draw if you've never picked up a pen and paper and drawn. Because I bet if I spent 3 years teaching you all the time, every week, you'd be able to draw eventually. Even if you're Matt McKinley, I could probably fucking teach that Humpty Dumpty how to draw something rather than his stick figures. But you got to do the work. And part of it is really examining this realm with honest eyes and without bias, without wishful thinking. Like, I wish it was good, I wish it was good, I wish it was good. No, how about you just look at the place? How about you observe it? And if you see bad, don't put a blindfold on or turn away and block it out and deny it, but look at it. Take a real look. How about you show some goddamn strength and courage for once in your life, and honesty. For the ones that are in denial, I'm going to shake you, make you see it. Instead of doing what the weaklings do, the sheep all gather together and say, "We all don't see it." You really haven't looked, though, have they?
You see, in this job, some of us have got rather a long way away from the idea of footprints in the sand.
Those footprints were made by my children. Now, you want me to scare the hell out of them with every bomb from A to H inclusive. Well, why? I mean, when did it all start?
1945.
Think this guy in the system gives a shit about your children? Then you're fooling yourself. To the man in this with the glasses and to whoever's watching this that has children, they don't give a shit about any of your children. That's another thing you gotta let sink in.
You may remember the Americans let off their 2 atomic bombs. Well, they didn't want other people doing the same thing. I mean, you do see that, don't you?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, to scare the people off, the Americans put it up that the atomic bomb was halfway along the line to something much bigger, the hydrogen bomb. It didn't work. They spent 5 years in negative research.
Well, what about the Russians?
I don't think the atomic bomb worked either. I think Nagasaki and Hiroshima were firebombed, much like firebombing was used in Germany and Dresden in World War II. Okay, I could go into history, but that's kind of beyond the scope of this video. And plus, I could go into history so deep that things I could speak about, I would lose my channel for speaking about on YouTube, because there's a certain influence in this realm that doesn't want the truth about World War II known. Out of a lot of things of history, that's one big one that they don't want known. Okay? World War II. And unfortunately, that's not enough of a hint for people listening to my voice. Some people are thinking, what's he talking about? You haven't looked as deeply as I have. And I didn't just look yesterday. And they've made it illegal in this realm to question certain things and speak about certain things. I am going to end this video here, though. If you want to watch the end of this guy's video, he has the device in him, though, is they could detonate it, okay? Little device that they planted in him.
Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen. Shall we talk terms? Which I know you will.
Will you let me out of here?
One little point. I should have told you about these surgical transmitters. There's enough of this stuff inside you at this moment to kill 6 people. There's a button we can press. I'm sorry about the dramatics. Our boys call these things the oral contraceptive. Keeps them from talking too much.
He's down about it. But what was that guy's face? He was laughing about it, calling it, laughing and smiling.
Sorry about the dramatics.
Look at, very well acted. Because this is what they're like. They find it funny. Oral contraceptive, don't talk too much, or, they'll just detonate that thing. You know what weak people do? They watch stuff like this and say, it's just fiction. That can't be real. That's not happening in this world. They just don't understand. They can't face the truth. And they're too weak. They're too fearful. Denial is weak. Want out of here? You have to be strong. You can't just get some directions out of this place scribbled down like people that are new here and say, tell me the way out. How do I even know that you're strong? How do I know that you're real? How do I know that you're not a demon? Okay? Think there's just one way out, one size fits all? A big exit door with exit in neon red above the door? Just because you've thought everything was simple your whole life doesn't mean that this is simple. Might have to use your mind until your brain hurts, some of you, to understand what's really going on. But you want simple. You just want a simple solution, don't you? You want me to just tell you the way out. Give me a synopsis, Drew said, for the soul trap. Just give me a few sentences like the synopsis written in the back of a book, because I don't want to read. I don't want to spend any time thinking about this or watching videos or try to understand. You're in a complex place. Think I can sum it up in a few fucking minutes or a few sentences? Shaking my head. The level that so many are at in this realm, it's incredible. It really is. I don't know if it was done to people or if they played a role in making themselves that simple, but it really is incredible. It truly is. What has managed to be pulled off here. It's incredible. The beings that once might have had a mind and consciousness and a spirit have been reduced to these things that are just so lazy. Lazy beyond words. Lazy-minded beyond words. I would never be able to count the number of hours that I've spent thinking about this stuff in this realm. And then there's people that want to waltz in here and they just think that I'm going to leave them a comment, a reply on their comment. And they say, how do I get out of here? And they think I'm just going to leave them a one-liner or two sentences. I mean, it's just incredible. It's really incredible. It truly is. It truly is. Where have you been? Where have you been living? Must not have examined much of this reality at all. Oh yeah, it's going to be so simple just to get out. That's why this place is so complex, right? Does that add up? Hey, maybe Darius J. Wright's channel's for you. The other side. Go talk to his Celeste friend on the other side. The other side. Go do that. Pay him hundreds of dollars. Get burned to learn. That should be on a t-shirt. Get burned to learn. Lose some money and, have a stack of dollar bills or stack of $100 bills, actually. Hundreds of dollars, hundreds and hundreds. An hour to talk to him. And then get angry after you're burned once you realize, fuck, I got burned. I got scammed. Maybe some people need that to learn the hard way. I don't, but, we're not all the same. There's people that need to get burned. They don't want to listen to the truth for free. Go pay to get fucking burned. I'm not stopping anybody from doing that. I've said that all along. You can go pay Forever Con Man. You can go donate to Matt McKinley every month. There are people that came to my channel early on that said they donated to Matt McKinley, Quantum of Con Man, every month. They gave him money. Sent him money every month. And they came to my channel. They couldn't believe what they were missing. They were in a little animal pen over there. You can go give Tony Sayers money every month. Forever Con Man, Darius J. Wright. There's a whole list of them. I mean, you could spend rent payments on these fucking YouTube channels and get scammed big time. You could put yourself into debt. You could max out your credit cards. Do whatever you want. I'm not stopping you from screwing yourself. I've exposed them all, the ones that I just mentioned, and more. Lots more than just those. But if you're stubborn and you insist, you think you know best, you got the baby truther ego, you think you know everything, go spend your money on scammers. Go ahead. Go join their little cults and follow them. I don't want you here anyway. I don't want brainwashed fools here that are stubborn and don't want the truth. I want, even if you're fooled and you're, I want people to come to my channel that are open-minded. If you're not that, I really don't want you. You can go get burned. You can laugh off what I'm putting on my channel and go over there and get burned for money. And that'll be a good lesson for you. Give them thousands if you... It doesn't bother me a bit if you get burned. I think that's where people have the wrong idea. They think they're moronic enough to think, well, you're jealous of them getting money. Not at all. Go give them $5,000. I don't care. I'm not asking for your money. And they're scratching their heads. Why is he not asking for our money? You don't get it. You don't get it. Some of you have lived your whole life without any morals or principles. You have no understanding of such things. You don't understand it. You don't understand somebody trying to do good for the sake of good and not wanting financial reward for it. Not asking or begging for shekels. In fact, turning down money. Because I don't want truth at my channel attached to money or the truth that I put out. That's why. I don't want it sullied by that, tainted by that, corrupted by that, dirtied by that, ruined by that. Okay? Do you understand? I don't think some of you will ever understand, because it's like you need years of work, lessons on morals and ethics and principles to even fucking begin to understand. Because a lot of you see nothing wrong with selling truth like it's some product at fucking Walmart or Best Buy or Tesco or wherever you fucking shop. Doesn't matter. Target, whatever. Just a product to you. That's all it is. Think you can buy the truth from scammers? You've deceived yourself. And you're fucking stupid. Gullible. I'm not going to pull punches. That's what you are. Doesn't feel good. Too bad. That's what I see. And that's what I think.
Our boys call these things the oral contraceptive. Keeps them from talking too much.
So there must be one of those transmitters inside you. Who presses the button? Extra hands. All this stuff about the computer being extra hands for the men who know how to control it. That machine controls you.
That's part of it too, where they're going to blame the computers. As though humans can't be doing evil. It's just going to be blamed on the computer controlling humanity. There's a lot of evil people in this realm. If I were you, which I'm not, but if I were, I'd start facing that fact too.
You start on Monday.
Gotcha. He's got no other choice. Got no other choice. Understand? So there's a lot of truth drops in that. 1968. Again, it doesn't matter what you show a normie. They don't care. They don't care about the truth. They have no desire for truth. They don't care about the truth. It's not a matter of what the people that make excuses, they always say, well, they just don't know, Stephen. They don't know. When they're shown, told, have it explained to them. Somebody spends hours making videos like mine. They don't watch the videos if it's shared with them, whether it's friends, family members, your friends, family, whoever. They don't want to spend the time. So They really don't care what's true in this world, and they'll never look very deeply. So, it's the way it is. That's this reality. Most people have no thirst for the truth. None at all. Sad, but true. Thanks for watching. Thanks for thinking.